I'm in Andorra, which is in the Basque country, and we've driven down here from London in the last 2 days by the Loire Valley and by Biscarrosse in France, and it was quite a long drive, but we got here and it's all fine. I haven't felt the desire to get into the water. You can see that it's quite cloudy, a bit overcast, it's quite warm. Anyway, weather, you don't want to hear about the weather. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking some photos. So what I've discovered is this rock over here. I haven't discovered it, I'm sure someone else discovered it before me, but I'm going to take a photo of it. And so I've got my camera here set up on a tripod, and we're using the 24 to 70mm lens with a couple of ND filters. Hope you can hear me. The waves are getting quite close. I think the tide's coming in. Okay, so I'm using a couple of ND filters stacked so that I can get this lovely water in the whitewash, get it all smoothed out and see how that looks with the rock in the background. The sun is starting to come out from behind some of these clouds, and hopefully we'll get some nice light on those rocks in a minute. That's the idea anyway. My partner and son have gone for a swim. So what I did initially was I set a small aperture so that I could get a really long, I think it was around 20 seconds, and that smoothed out the water. But then they got in the water for a swim, so I thought, well, I want to try and capture them as two little people. I know there'll be some movement, but you don't want a bit of movement's all right, but too much movement and they just get lost. So I think I set it down to about a second. I'll check that, I'll put that up on the screen, and got a few shots of them in the water, but also with some movement. So that was an idea of sort of getting people in there. I'm not a big fan of landscapes just for the sake of landscapes. I like there to be something in the photograph that is reminding us of human habitation. Anyway, I'm going to take a few more, see how they go. So what I'm doing at the moment, I've got it on f8 at 13 seconds, ISO 100, and 2-second delay, so obviously I don't get any movement, although the waves are crashing into the beach. I don't know if you can hear that, possibly. Anyway, the waves are crashing into the beach, so there's quite a lot of sort of movement underfoot, and this sand is very, very loose. So hopefully the tripod is stable and so on. Anyway, getting a few shots, see how that looks, and then when so a few people have entered the water now, so that might add a few extra elements into the image, but that's all right, that's fine. We're here, we don't own this beach, and yeah, so that's what we're taking. You can see that up there, looks good, right? Yeah. Just while I'm here, I thought I'd swing around from the rocks to the town, just to see if I can get something interesting in a shot. Here's the shot. It's not particularly interesting, but I think it's always worthwhile when you're in a certain place and you've got the camera set up and you've got your filters on and everything else. Just swing it around and see what photos you can make. I wouldn't have set it up and taken it just for that shot. But as I'm here, thought I'd give it a go. I think it's always a good idea. I've decided I'm going to try with a slightly longer lens, maybe, well, this is a 70 to 200, so I'm going to try something a bit longer. Just frame that lovely thing, rock in the sea, a bit tighter because the 70's not quite long enough. But I have to put this camera down to put the lens on. At this point the light was going, so I got a few shots quickly cropping in on the rocks, and these are the results. It's a few weeks on now from making those images, and I realise I forgot to record a summary. So here's one. After I'd taken those shots, I thought I've got that in the bag and I can relax a little, so I decided to go for a walk along the beach with my family. I made some photos as I was walking along the beach, and I think it's important, even though your family is really familiar, that doesn't mean that you can't put the same care and attention into making photographs of your family as you would do for any other subject. So that's what I did after I'd made those photos of the rock. Made a few more shots around Onderoa that evening and also the following day, and then we were back on the road going to our next destination. When I reviewed the photos that I took in Onderoa, it occurred to me that the photos that I liked the most were not the landscape shots that I thought I had in the bag. They were actually those photos of landscapes with people in them. And I think it's because they conveyed a narrative and it's not quite clear what's going on. There's something kind of dreamlike about those images and they're open to interpretation, and that's exactly the kind of photography that I like, is where things are not quite clear and not quite obvious. So I hope you liked that little series and you got something from it. I'd appreciate if you liked it, you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. That would be fantastic. And just to let you know, I've got a bunch more photos and videos in the pipeline. I took a load over the summer, lots of underwater photos, so they're coming really soon. It'll be great if you want to join me for those. See you in the next one.